Hey guys, if you like the content, please like and subscribe. I also have reviews for Boba Fett Episode 1 and Episode 2 on my channel. Feel free to check those out if you haven't already. And let's get into this. Sorry guys, my voice is probably off. I'm going to talk a little slower. I'm exhausted. I've been sick as a dog. Sorry about that. This is coming out a little late, but I wanted to come out with it because it's it's kind of funny. But let's get into this. So the first thing they do is they start going through the history of the sail barge explosion. And we find out that after the explosion, it created chaos, and nobody knew who was in charge. And it was Bib Fortuna who held everything together in Mos Espa. He divided the city up into, he gave power to 3 different clans and yada yada yada. But you know what's funny about Star Wars now, and with Favreau and Filoni and these guys, they never explain how people survive this stuff. How did all these people survive this explosion? Like, this scene is no longer as epic as it once was because half the people that were on the barge survived. So, what the heck is going on? Like, why couldn't Bib Fortuna die on the barge and somebody else, right? Because they got it. It's all just fan service and garbage. So Jabba's bumbling assistant was holding everything in Mos Espa together for quite a few years. That makes a lot of sense. The Hutts let him do it, even though they're coming and saying to Boba, the last episode, that we want control of this. We want control back of this area. But no, they allowed Bib for quite a few years to just hold it down. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay. And again, how the heck did Bib survive? No one knows. He just did. The other thing I'm asking here is, we still have yet to see Boba have a ship or anything. I haven't even seen him on a speeder. He's literally walking in and out of Mos Espa from Jabba's palace. I did a little research, and it's about 80 miles. It's 80 miles. So that means if he was moving at a good clip and he didn't stop at all to eat or anything, it's probably going to take him a day to walk there. Like 24 hours. So what the heck is that? Like, why wouldn't he have, he's supposed to be this gangster, why wouldn't he have speeders or Lance, what do you call it? The thing Luke had. Oh, man, I'm tired. Land speeder, whatever. You know what I mean. He has nothing. He's walking. That makes no sense, and it's just lazy. And it makes me wonder if it's a budgetary reason they didn't do that. It makes me wonder. But anyway, so he's walking in and out. Anyways, no ships, no nothing. It's very bizarre. So Fett walks to town to deal with the thieves. That one of the guys in his area needed help with. So this guy comes in and says, "Oh, I need help with these guys. They stole water, blah, 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 blah." Fett finds out that everyone is scamming everyone, including that guy's charging too much, and there's no work, and these young people are all like, "Oh, what are we supposed to do? We're going to die." So he says, "Okay, I'll come on board with me." And so now we finally see that he has some sort of a more realistic entourage for a gangster, because first 2 episodes he's got, a couple pig men and Fennec, and that's it. So now he's got a larger group, and then it cuts to the same flashback of Django leaving Camino for, I don't know if this is the 3rd or 4th time now. Why do they keep showing this? Why do we continue to see him looking out the window while his dad goes somewhere? I don't get it. What is the purpose of this? We've seen it. We get it. He misses his dad. We know. We don't need to continuously see the same flashback over and over and over. And then just like that, after 7 minutes, we're back with the Sand People. And Fett gets his own bantha, so now he's officially a real Sandman. He's got a bantha, and the bantha obeys him, and he's one with the bantha. And then he takes his bantha, and he goes to see the Pike Syndicate. These were the big drug-running guys that he put their train in the ground or whatever. And then something happens that I predicted at the end of the last episode, if it was going to make any sense, which was, why would these Pike guys give a crap about the Sand People and Boba Fett? So basically, Boba Fett goes and says, "Oh, I need my tribute from the Pike. And the Pike goes, "Oh, sorry, we already had to give it to these guys. We can only give it to one, and they demanded it, and it was those the double hockey stick logo guys. Boba Fett goes home. He's trying to figure out what to do because he's got to figure out a way to get the money now from them. And of course, he goes back to where the camp was, and they're all dead. Of course, they're dead. You guys shot down their train. You convinced a bunch of sand people to take out a massive intergalactic drug running train. There was probably who knows how many millions of dollars on that train of drugs. What did you think was going to happen? You're a homeless man. So way to go, Boba. You got all your buddies killed. Woo! Way to go, Boba Fett. Yeah. It's just this show, man. Oh man. Just why wasn't he just a bounty hunter? This is so stupid. And then he's awoken out of his bantha tank, so no longer flashback to the Jabba's Wookiee or whatever, the Hutt's Wookiee, pulling him out of there and kicking the crap out of him. And then thank goodness he's got this new crew of people because they basically save his butt. But still, I mean, the Wookiee almost kills them all. He's pretty formidable. Pretty crazy Wookiee, actually. And actually, I thought he was cool. I think he's cool. I have no problem with, like, a super warrior Wookiee guy. Like, that's... Wookiees are supposed to be crazy strong and freaky, right? Like, ripping arms off and stuff, so... I have no problem with that. But anyway, so he happens to step on the area where he could fall down in the Rancor pit. Fennec pushes the button, and then he gets stuck down there for indefinitely, right? Okay, and then the twins show up, and they give Boba Fett a Rancor. We're going to give you this Rancor beast, and, we don't want this land, and they didn't even want the Wookiee back. But Boba Fett's, go, take your Wookiee back. And they're like, no. And then they just kind of leave. And you're like, why did you even show up? Like, why are you just giving Boba Fett a Rancor beast? If you don't want the land, or you don't want that area of Tatooine, you don't want to be gangsters over that area, why are you giving him anything? Just leave. Right? It's just another thing that they just don't explain. It's like, this is just the way it is. This is what happens. There's no explanation at all. And that's classic Disney right now, with just there's no explanation. The Hutts had no reason. The only reason they were there is because Boba Fett had to have a Rancor, and they couldn't think of any other idea. So they just had the Hutts show up for absolutely no reason and give him a Rancor. Even though, if they're leaving anyway, they even say, oh, we're going to go back to the Hutt space or whatever, or Hutty or whatever it's called. And you're like, well, if that's what you were going to do, you could have just kept your Rancor and just left. Why would you be giving up an asset like that if you don't even care about this area and you're done with it? It makes absolutely no sense, other than, again, so the plot can move forward with Boba Fett and this stupid Rancor beast. It's just so lowbrow. And again, no ships. So I was looking at the shot of the Rancor and the Hutts and the guys carrying them, right? And I'm looking behind them going, where's the ship? Where is the ship that they just landed in? They are literally dragging the Hutts and the Rancor all over on foot. 60 miles! 60 miles from Mos Espa to Jabba's palace, and they carried them on foot. Think about that, folks. At most, they're moving at a mile an hour. That's 2.5 days, or over 2 days, without stopping. Just so they can stop and say, we're not interested in anything. Here's our Rancor, even though there's no reason to give it to you. Where are the ships? That makes no sense. It makes no sense. There's no ships, and they're dragging these fat slugs around 60 miles, and then they go back. They turn around and they start walking back. It's another 2.5 days. It's just so... It's like these guys didn't think we'd notice that. Like, that's super stupid. And again, I don't know if it's a budgetary thing. I think it would have been incredibly rad to show a Hutt ship. Right? Have it in the background there outside the palace, and that's where they're going to go back in and then leave. No, didn't want to just they're walking. They're hoofing it like Boba does every day. Walks into, spends a full day walking into Mos Espa. Oh. Anyway, so Fett decides to let the Wookiee go, because, like, what's the point of holding on to him at this point? Now that the Hutts are not a factor. Then we get into the Rancors. The Rancor beasts are deep emotional beings. Here we go again, right? Another plot prop. They just cannot stop themselves. And so they're basically, what this is what Disney does, is they take single lines or very quick shots from the OT, and they try to turn them into a whole big thing. So they'll try and turn the fat guy that was crying when his Rancor beast died, which we all thought was hilarious when we watched the movie originally, because these are crazy beasts, and there's this guy who's just like bawling his eyes out. They're now taking that and expanding that. Now there's going to be episodes about the relationship with the Rancor, and the Rancor is emotional, and you're just like, are you kidding me? From a one-off little shot of the guy crying, Favreau's going to turn that into literally episodes. Fuck, find something to write, man. They do this with all the OT stuff. One little single dinky line, and then they turn it into some big, huge thing instead of just figuring something else out. So boring. Yeah. So the Rancor tamer guy tells Boba Fett that these are very deep emotional beings. And by the way, I love the actor that's playing. That's what's his name again? He's in Con Air. He's in tons of movies. He's a really good actor. He did actually a lot of acting from prison, including I think Con Air. I can't remember his name, but he's really good. He's in Machete too. But yeah, he says they're deep emotional beings. Like, it's just like, what are we doing with Star Wars? Like, it's again another plot prop. Rancors are plot props, but they can't help themselves. Everything's got to be expanded on because you can't make any new stuff. So anyway, and then Boba wants to ride the Rancor. He says to the guy, "Oh, I want to learn to ride it." And I gotta say, guys, I got a really bad feeling about that. That is going to be the cringiest thing. Boba Fett riding a Rancor. It's going to be so dumb. Oh, Disney. Anyway, so whatever. I mean, it's just going to be another silly thing to talk about, I guess. But and then of course Boba and the Rancor beast share a moment because the Rancors are emotional and they need love and affection. And Boba Fett showed him affection when he touched that soft spot near his eye and he nestled into him. He really shared a moment with the Rancor. It's beautiful. And then the bright multicolored motorbike style speeders were totally out of place on Tatooine. If those had been on Coruscant, yes, that would make sense. But Tatooine is beige. Everything is different shades of brown. It's so out of place. It looks so strange. It just makes no sense. It's just, again, I don't know why they're doing this. There's not bright rainbow gangs on Tatooine. It's supposed to be like a poor, destitute, crappy area of the galaxy. It's not supposed to be like flashy bikes, and it's just, God, like, you guys, it's like they don't even know what Star Wars is. And so Boba's Rainbow Crew show up and chase the mayor's assistant, and they catch him. We don't really know what happens after that. And so basically, the Pikes are as bad as they should have been. Fett got his entire tribe killed by thinking he was big enough to handle galactic drug dealers as a homeless man, and a better episode, but just some really stupid stuff. And again, it doesn't add up, right? And now I'm gonna make a prediction here. It's you might find it funny, but I'm gonna make a prediction here. So Fett is gonna learn to ride the Rancor, and then later in this series, we're gonna find out the real gangster at the top of the Pikes and everybody else is Darth Maul. And Boba Fett, riding the Rancor, will have a duel with Darth Maul. Just imagine, man, at this point, wouldn't put it past them. How funny would that be? Rancor riding Boba Fett versus Darth Maul. Good lord. Anyway, guys, it's not very Star Wars-y. They make a lot of stupid mistakes. There's a lot of just stupid stuff they didn't need to put in, and they do anyway. And and they move the plot so sloppily, and they explain so little. It's like they just threw this show together at the last minute. It's like, it's so bush. Like, where are the ships? Doesn't make any sense. It's so dumb. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, and have a good day.